Hello, everyone. Hey, I have a question. Are the sports that you love getting tougher to enjoy as you get older? Are aches, pains, soreness becoming a regular part of your life? I know it's happened to me, and I don't know what I can do. I didn't know what I could do to fix it. I really was afraid that I was going to have to stop doing some of the things that I love. So we have discovered some great solutions to resolve some of these issues. So if you could go to the next slide, we're actually going to be talking about 3 ways that you can activate your body. One is with Nrf2 activation, one is with Nrf1 activation, and then the third way is NAD activation. But before we get into a lot of this science, let's talk about who we are. If you can go to the next slide. So I'm Therese Houk, and I'm a nurse and a yoga instructor. I also have been a LifeVantage distributor now for about 4 years. And I, as I mentioned, teach yoga. And when I first got introduced to this product, I was considering not teaching anymore because I had so much back pain. It hurt to touch my toes. It hurt to get into some of those crazier poses that you see. And so I started this product not knowing or thinking that it would help my back pain at all. And after about 3 months, I really felt a difference. I didn't have as much back pain. And so I was sold on this product. And so I'm still teaching yoga. I love to teach. And I'm just really impressed. And you're going to hear a few more stories similar to this as we continue our talk. Also with us tonight is Rebecca Glasser. She is a doctor. She's a plastic surgeon who has been a plastic surgeon for about 20 years now. And she also is on our medical advisory board for our company. And I love this picture of her because it's her on our stage and the picture of her in the background. So I'm going to let you get started talking about Nrf2 activation, Dr. Glasser.
Great. And I love that Therese put this slide in because as she said, I'm a plastic surgeon, and so I think this is the perfect slide. No. This is the perfect slide because, I'm certainly in the field of anti-aging, and so this is ideal, right? Does Nrf2 really work? And the one lady says, yes, I'm 97. And that would be my goal, right? As we continue to age, we really want to make sure that we have quality of life, that we are truly able to do all of those things that we want to do. I mean, we've been working throughout our life, right? We want to be able to enjoy retirement. We want to be able to, if you live in Colorado, to go hiking and biking and enjoying, the natural beauty here. Or if you're in North Carolina, same thing, right? You want to be able to enjoy the mountains. And so remember, we're talking about sports tonight, but we're really talking about quality of life. So one of the things that we often talk about is something called oxidative stress. And as a plastic surgeon, I'm very much a visual person. And so you can see at the very top of this slide, you can see an apple. And once you've cut that apple in half, that apple will start to brown. It will start to decay. It'll start to break down and age. And I think many of us certainly feel that ourselves, because as we age, what happens to our skin? Well, our skin starts to get wrinkles. It starts to sag. We start to get brown spots. All of those things that we're seeing on the outside of our body are unfortunately also occurring on the inside of our body. And so at the bottom, you can see that there's a normal cell there, and that normal cell is attacked by our environment. It's attacked by free radicals. those free radicals are what we think of as oxidative stress, this rusting, this browning that occurs. And so that cell with oxidative stress doesn't look too good. We want to try and reestablish that cell. We want to try and turn back those signs of aging. And so the way that we're able to do that is through our first product that we're going to talk about, which is Protandim Nrf2. And so you can see that the very first study that was ever published on Protandim Nrf2 shows you that if I give you Protandim for 30 days, I can show that I can lower oxidative stress on average 40% in 30 days. So if oxidative stress is this free radical damage, if it's this rusting, this browning that occurs, what would happen to your body if you could turn that back by 40% in 30 days? And what would happen as you continue to age and you're turning back that clock? So I want you to think of oxidative stress as a major contributing factor to how and why we age. It is linked to between 400 and 500 different diseases. And so as we're talking about sports and being able to have quality of life and be able to do all the things we want to do, I think one thing that people don't realize is that when you work out hard, whether it's going for a hike or whether it's going for a bike ride or just sitting here right now, you are creating oxidative stress. And so what happens, let's say, if you go to the gym and you work out really hard, 2 days later, your muscles hurt, right? You have inflammation in them. You have free radical damage in there. And so Nrf2 is working to detoxify this process, to get rid of this free radical damage, to help with cellular repair and rejuvenation. So at the very bottom, you can see that there's 5 ingredients in Protandim Nrf2. It's turmeric, it's milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, and ashwagandha. And it's something about the combination of these 5 together that activate or turn on this Nrf2 pathway. When we do that, we're turning on, again, somewhere around 400 or 500 different survival genes. Those survival genes are things like antioxidant enzymes, which help get rid of free radicals, but also anti-inflammatory enzymes to help decrease inflammation. So I think that Protandim Nrf2 is one of those things that everyone can benefit from, but particularly athletes, as we're trying to improve performance, endurance, and recovery. So as we talk about those survival genes that are turned on, one of those survival genes is glutathione. And if you have really studied health and fitness, you might have learned about glutathione because it's thought of as the master antioxidant enzymes. And so glutathione helps muscle growth in 3 different ways. It can help enhance muscle mass and strength. It can help with recovery time. Okay, we talked a little bit about that. It also helps with immune function. And so all of these things are helping us, allowing us to get out there and do the things that we want to do. So one of the studies that was published on Protandim Nrf2 says, well, if I give you Nrf2 for 120 days, it'll show that it increases your glutathione levels by 300% in 120 days. That's a pretty amazing figure to be able to make that claim. And that is one of our studies. And so again, we want to work out. We want to be able to push harder, to train harder, to recover faster. And Protandim Nrf2 is a big part of this. We have a number of professional athletes which use Protandim Nrf2 because it, like our other Protandim products, is approved by the Banned Substance Control Group, so it's allowed to be used in athletes. Now, Therese, I'm going to turn it back to you, and you can talk a little bit about Protandim Nrf1, which is the sister product of Protandim Nrf2.
Yes, thank you. NRF1 is just another pathway in our body. So while NRF2 works on inflammation and oxidative stress, NRF1 actually focuses on mitochondria. So you may remember from your biology in high school what the mitochondria do. They are the powerhouses of our cells. They actually make energy, which is ATP. And so some of the other things that they do is they actually maintain those important glutathione levels. They protect our DNA. They signal cell reproduction and activate cell apoptosis, which if you're not in the medical world, that means cell breakdown, just destruction of cells. And maintaining the cell electrical chemical integrity too, which obviously is very important. So basically, it helps to build more mitochondria, and it also helps to improve how the other mitochondria that we have are working. Next slide, please. And so Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer, it not only gives you more energy, which makes sense, you know, if you're activating your mitochondria, you're going to have more energy, right? But on the flip side of that, it also helps with sleep. And it's not just, you know, better sleep, but it's your deep REM sleep, which is the sleep that helps you to heal, to recover. When you work out hard, it helps your muscles to recover. Again, Protandim Nrf2 is comprised of 5 natural ingredients. And those 5 ingredients, you may be taking one of them, but it's those 5 ingredients that work synergistically together that help to activate that NRF1 pathway.
And I'll just add, one of the things I always think about NRF1, if you watch cycling or if you watch basketball, I think about, you know, the Michael Jordans of the world who are just racing back and forth up that court, back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, oh my gosh, he must have so many mitochondria. It's amazing to me that he never runs out of energy. Or you think of a Lance Armstrong who, you know, is cycling, and it's that endurance, and you're like, how does he not run out of steam? How is he able to continue to make those climbs? And that is truly related to your mitochondria and the level of energy production that you're making.
So yeah, endurance is important. And this is a pro surfer, and I think you know him personally, Dr. Glasser.
I wish. I have the biggest crush on him, but Kelly Slater is the most amazing surfer in the world.
He is on both the NRF2 and the NRF1, and he did a little blurb about how important those were for his abilities to be able to do his best in his sport. So it's pretty awesome.
And particularly, again, you look at him and he's in his 50s now, and he's still competing with 20-year-olds. So that really says a lot for his endurance, his recovery, his ability to perform.
The third activator that we have is our NAD activator. And this is, NAD is a precursor to sirtuins. If you've done any research on anti-aging, you will have learned about NAD and sirtuins. It's a pretty complicated process, but the important thing to know about activating your NAD pathway is that it helps primarily with mental clarity and focus. And if you think about any sport that you do, I mean, you have to have that clear-cut vision of how you're going to succeed. Mental focus is so important to excel at any sport. So next slide, please. This is a slide that that I love, but this is an athlete. She was already taking Nrf2 and Nrf1, I believe, and she added the NAD in, and she's training for a marathon. And after 3 days of NAD activation, her 10-mile run, I have to come in closer because I can't read it very well. Her 10-mile marathon training, she had the fastest pace that she'd ever had. And she wasn't sore the next day the way she had been in the previous week. And big bonus, she lost 4 pounds in 48 hours. Now, I'm not saying that that you're going to lose 4 pounds when you start NAD, but everybody, reacts differently to our products, and that's pretty awesome to lose that much weight in 48 hours. So next slide, please. I'm going to have Dr. Glasser talk about the Tri-Synergizer, which is the combination of these 3 products.
Right. So again, when we're thinking about athletes, we're trying to improve maximum performance as well as recovery. And so I really like this combination of these 3 products. And the reason for that, again, goes back to this area of genetics. And so all of these products work by a process that's called nutrigenomics, or using nutrition to change the expression of one's genes. And so each product individually is great, but interestingly, when you add them all 3 together, you get a heightened response when you stack them together. So let's look, for example, at a couple of these different genes. The Nrf2 gene, this HMOX1, it's part of the inflammatory response. It's helping reduce inflammation. Would that be important in doing sports? Absolutely. We're all going to get injuries. We're all going to have a little bit of inflammation. Sometimes we're in the gym and we tweak something wrong. So it's important to have that healthy inflammatory response. When you take Nrf2 alone, it will activate this gene by 51%. But when you take all 3 of them together, you can see this amazing response, over 800% activation of this gene. It's that combination that work in synergy in order to get this heightened response. Let's look at mitochondrial biogenesis, right? How do you make more mitochondria to have more energy to do those things that you want to do? If you take Nrf1 alone, you get a 71% increase in that response. But when you take all 3 of them together, you get 120% increase in that gene activation. This is patent pending right now by LifeVantage. This is so unique to have 3 different products that complement each other in order to create that best response. And so again, we're looking at performance, endurance, recovery. Here's Melina, who again, what happened to her after she took the NAD Synergizer? Holy moly, she's at her fastest ever. Okay, so again, how to improve your athletic response. Therese, I'll turn it back to you.
So we are a company that have been around since 2003. The name of our company is LifeVantage, and this is our headquarters. We're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. We're a financially stable company. We are debt-free. Actually, we became debt-free during COVID, and we're growing. We're not a company that is it's not a fly-by-night kind of company. We are solid. We are in many markets, more than just anti-aging. And so it's just a very good company. So if you're just fascinated by this science and you're thinking, wow, I know a lot of people that I need to tell about this, need to hear about this, please talk to the person that invited you, because if this is a great business opportunity and it's a nice side gig, if you want to go to the next slide, for anyone who wants a little side gig to work out of their home. It is network marketing. but network marketing is such a different animal now with social media, with automatic shipping and, you know, automatic ordering. You don't have to have a bunch of product in your garage. We have a wonderful company that takes good care of all of that shipping, and so you don't have overhead to worry about. I have just really enjoyed being in this company, and I encourage you, like I said, if you're thinking about doing something on the side to make a little extra money, this is a great opportunity. I'll let you finish, Rebecca.
Yeah, so what an interesting environment we've all lived in, I'd say, over the last 2 years. I am happy to say that we have finally come out of COVID, and I think in most places in the country, things are starting to feel a little bit back to normal, where our mental health is so important in being able to exercise in order to be able to do all those things that we love and enjoy. But I think at the same time, we're faced with other conflicts. And I think there's no one who isn't feeling inflation right now. And this inflation is here to stay. We have no doubt that the cost of gas, the cost of groceries, the cost of living, just whether it's a rental or whether it's a new house, whether it's a new or a used car, we are seeing inflation in every parameter. So unless you got an absolutely huge raise at work, and we know from the statistics that wages at work have not kept up with inflation, the cost of living has skyrocketed. And so I think, again, more and more people are looking for how do I make up for this? How do I make up for inflation? How do I make extra money? And as Therese spoke of, this is such a great way of doing it, because it's a way that you can make additional money and still work from home and still be with your family. So again, if you're looking for a new business opportunity, if you're looking for a way to have, you know, more money than month left at the end of the month, then please reach out to the person who told you about tonight's presentation. And then if you have more questions about sports, about how to improve your athletic prowess, whether you're walking for 20 minutes a couple of times a week, or if you're competitive as an athlete, again, there's so much more science on this. We're just going to keep it short tonight. But I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening, and we hope you have an absolutely wonderful Wednesday. Bye-bye.